Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Make It Happen Monday. Thank you guys so much for always being here. Together, we are transforming lives. We are helping children, women, and young people defeat hunger, illiteracy, and poverty. There is no way that we can do one without the other. So the three go together. So thank you guys so much for your contributions. Thank you for sharing these videos and keep sharing so that together we make sure that these videos are reaching every household, reaching every child, every young person, every young woman, and every woman around the world. So thank you. We are still in celebrating women history. This is the month of March. March is a beautiful month of rebirth, growth, and transformation. And we are so happy that we are part of this here. I am really, really highly grateful for all of you here. Continue to do what we are doing, but also be sure that you're taking good care of yourself, taking good care of your families, and investing in yourself. What is your purpose? What were you called to do? And what are you doing? Are you taking action every day? So I encourage each and every one of us to take action so that our children can see and also do the same or better. So thank you guys so much. Today, Monday, March 17, we are in One Global Movement Mantle of Hope Inspiration, celebrating Women History Month. And we love Malala Yousafzai so much. And I brought another quote from Malala Yousafzai that says, I don't want to be remembered as the girl who was shot. I don't want to be remembered as the girl who was shot. I want to be remembered as the girl who stood up. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful determination? I don't want to be remembered as the girl who was shot, but I want to be remembered as the girl who stood up despite the fact that I was shot. And to my own self, I don't want to be remembered as the girl that was forced into marriage at the age of 11. But I want to be remembered as the girl that chose education first with the help of my grandmother and my mother. So thank you guys so much. And so what does this mean? What does Malala mean by saying that I don't want to be remembered as the girl that was shot, but I want to be remembered as the girl that stood up? Malala is redefining identity in this quote. That's what I think. And what do you think? What do you think for yourself? What is the interpretation of this quote of Malala according to your own worldview, or according to your family, according to how you're raising your children, according to your culture, your environment? What is your interpretation? For me, it is redefining identity. Malala refuses to let an act of violence define her. Remember, this is a young woman. She refused to let an act of violence define who God has created her to be. Instead of being remembered as a victim of an assassination attempt, she wants the world to be known, or she wants to be known for her strength, her activism, and her unwavering stand for young women's education. Yes, her unwavering stance for young women's education. She is so determined to advocate for the education of young girls instead of choosing marriage first in certain situations, or instead of choosing other things, instead of going through social challenges that are facing a lot of young women and a lot of young men. But in this case, young women, we focus on young women because this is Women's History Month. And what does this quote mean? I don't want to be remembered as the girl who was shot, but I want to be remembered as the girl who stood up. This also means building resilience over victimhood. You build your resilience over victimhood. You don't want to be a victim. You don't want to attract negative sympathy or empathy for your situation, but you don't want to keep wanting people like building a pity party for what you have gone through, but you want to be remembered as somebody who stood up in spite of the fact that you face this kind of challenges. Assassination attempt on a young woman's life is not a joke. And so the quote emphasizes that adversity does not define a person. Your adversity does not define you. I am here today because I refused for my adversities to define who God has created me to be. It is how we respond to the adversity that truly matters, right? And so Malala's response is to being shot was not silence or fear, but greater courage and advocacy, greater courage to stand up and make her voice count and make her voice heard for the purpose of uplifting others who are going through similar situations, or educating other young girls that when you face similar situations like this in the future, because it will come, but it's not certain when. We all face challenges of one kind or the other. Malala's might have been an assassination attempt. Mine might have been of forcing me into marriage at a very tender age, which I went through a lot of struggles, even staying in the bush. It might be one thing or the other, because these are the challenges in life that build us up if we are determined to choose how we rise, how we stood up instead of just remaining down when we've been pushed down. This is very important. And this quote again is it's the power of standing up. The power of you standing up. You know, I am going through a lot of health challenges, but thank God that I am at the point where I can talk with the help of a lot of people that are helping me to rehabilitate me. And sometimes it's hard. It's really hard, the kind of pain that I go through. And it's hard for me to walk, but thank God I will not complain because things are improving. It might be slow, but they are improving. And I can't wait to get to that point where I can resume full responsibility of what I am doing here with women, children, and young people all by myself. But even so, we cannot do it by ourselves. We have to really get responsibility. We have to seek the volunteerism and other things from other people. So the power of standing up is what Malala's quote is saying. Malala's words encourages people, encourages young women like you, encourages other women, encourages young men, encourages everyone, especially young girls and women, to stand up against oppression of any kind, discrimination of any kind, and injustices of any kind. Her activism for education, which is what we are doing here in One Global Movement, the essence is to build schools around the world, schools that will be there for young people, for children and women, particularly the young woman. Schools that the young woman will have the power and the right to choose education first. Education first before any other thing is what we are all about here in One Global Movement. So her activism for education rights is a testament to the impact one voice can have on the world, in the world. That is the impact. Like I am doing here, there's a lot, I'm representing a lot. The silent voices, the voices of young girls that have been pushed into marriages, the voices of young girls that are going through a lot of customs and traditions that is not healthy for them. A lot of things, but these can only be done through education, and not just classroom education to build skill centers and classrooms and equip them with computers and other things, especially with this high technology, but also in-person education to know how to plant your own garden, to grow your own garden, to to harvest things from your backyard to the kitchen, to plant your own flowers, to teach children to plant their own flowers and smell those flowers. That's the kind of education that we are talking about, not just any kind of education. Very, very important. And Malala, in her quote, is inspiring a global change, is advocating for a global change for young people, for children, and for women, particularly young girls. These quotes from Malala serves as a universal call to action. It reminds people, you and I, all of us, to rise above challenges and fight for what they believe in, rather than being defined by the hardships they encountered. This is so profound. This is very important. What do you believe in? What were you created to do? What is your gift? What is your talent? What are you doing with it? And if you've not yet discovered what your gifts are, ask questions. Do you have a mentor? Are you reading? Are you researching? Are you reading good biographies of people that have done it? What are you doing? So this is so profound that we do it. This quote, often attributed to Malala Yousafzai, carries profound significance in celebrating Women's History Month, as it embodies resilience, it embodies courage, it embodies determination, and it embodies the unwavering pursuit for justice for all, particularly young people and young women. It shifts the narrative from victimhood to empowerment, to resilience, to I can do this, I can do this, emphasizing that women, particularly young women, should not be defined by the adversities they face, but they should be defined by their strengths in overcoming them, because you can. You were built for more. You were built to empower. You were built to transform. You were built to get up and do it again. No matter how many times you fail, you get up and you do it again. Because in failing, you are building that resilience, you're building your skills, and you're getting wiser and better, and you will do better. So during Women's History Month, this message serves as an inspiration to honor the countless women and young girls throughout history who have faced discrimination, who have faced abuse, who have faced oppression, who have faced violence, and who have faced a lot of social challenges, yet stood up. They stood up, spoke out, and changed the world. And as we go along, like we did, we spoke about Dr. Maya Angelou. We're going to be speaking about Angelina Jolie. And these are people that we are selecting, among others, across the world, that we're going to be talking about to learn from them how they did it. You know, women throughout history who have really faced insurmountable odds, but they found it within them to say, I am going to get up, I'm going to rise, and I'm going to shine, and I'm going to do it so that my children and other children and the world can also follow my example. This is what we are doing here. Yet these women stood up. They spoke up. They spoke out for the voiceless and changed the world, just like Malala. It reminds us that women and young girls are not just passive recipients of history, but they are active contributors, leaders, change makers, and warriors for equality. This quote also highlights the importance of education, choosing education for the young woman first. Choose education first. Activism, really advocating for those who cannot advocate for themselves, and the fearless advocacy, encouraging young girls and women, our mothers, our aunties worldwide, to rise beyond limitations that society or families have placed on us and make their mark, to make themselves, their voices heard, their impact felt in the world and in history, to be written down in history books, not as survivors, but as trailblazers, as people who thrive in their own power and in their own gift. And so In conclusion, inspiring the next generation is what Malala's quote is all about. Encouraging young women to dream big, and believe in their potential. A girl with a dream today is a woman of power tomorrow. So, one global movement is here to ignite that fire, nurture that passion, and watch her soar on the wings of eagle. The future belongs to you. You, and you. The future belongs to all of us, to young women, to aunties, and to everyone out there who dares to believe in their brilliance, who dare to believe in their greatness, who dare to dream big. One global movement is the wind beneath their wings, is the wind beneath your wings, lifting you up, lifting everyone up towards boundless possibilities. And so we want you to stand tall in your power, stand tall in your gift, and make sure that you count. So, one global movement, Mantle of Hope inspiration today is celebrating Women History Month with Malala's quote, I don't want to be remembered as the girl who was shot. I want to be remembered as the girl who stood up. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be remembered for? I want to be remembered for the girl who refused to go into marriage at a very young age, at a very tender age, but to be remembered as the girl who said, education first. So I want you to think about what you want to be remembered for, so that when we come to discuss these things live with other perspective, you will also be a contributing partner. Thank you guys so much. Be a part of one global movement. Let us transform the world, especially the lives of children, young girls, women, and those that have been pushed to the backwaters of life. I love you all. Until next time, bye-bye.